where the arms would go here is triangular, which causes a little bit of a problem because the weapons we're going to attach the arms straight, flat. So first thing you want to do is you want to shave some of this off. So once it's shaved off, it's a bit flatter. And then the next thing you want to do with your arms, you obviously want to have the arms glued to the weapon, and basically you want to create these little plugs. And you do that by cutting a piece of sprue off and literally just gluing it on. Give it time to set. Once this is set, cut them to size and get them to connect to the body. Obviously at this point, as you can see, you've got these big gaps. Next step after that is you apply some green stuff. You don't have to be a great sculptor to do this stage. You don't have to be really precise. You do need to put some shoulder blades into the back, and you need to fill the area up. And the reason why you don't need to be great at sculpting is because afterwards you're going to put 2 shoulder pads on, and there's the face. So as I said, you can see the shoulder blades, but most of the area of the green where you had the gaps is hidden by these 2 shoulder pads. That is how you turn one of the fantasy orcs into now becoming one suitable for 40k. For painting the skin on the pigs, first off I use waaagh flesh, which makes them look like this. The second coat I used was orcs bone for bringing out the highlights. After that, weakened flesh shade, and that therefore gets your darker areas. And then the last coat, orcs bone. That last coat, you're just trying to pick up the very edges. So you can see like the top there, look, the edges there, the wrinkles, the snout. So a few edges here on the eyes, ears, a few little bits on the legs, like that, look. Just to get that last coat. So it only takes 4 coats. But what I wanted to do was, I wanted to do a little tester first. The top one, I covered with Corax white, and then the bottom, orcs bone. And what I'm going to do is, on the third area, I'm going to apply these 2 colours, and then I'm going to end up using these 3 colours as a wash. Now I've applied these colours first here, in order, and then because I want to try and make sure that there's as much variety as possible in the painting of the boars, to give them different fur colours, I wrote the numbers of the boars down quite simply. Where I've got W, they're going to be white ones, so a little bit different, but otherwise C for cream, 1 as in first option. And this way it helps me to keep a variety in the colours. So if I've got several boars which are the same shape, so for example there's several boars all like this one, they won't all look quite the same because they'll have different fur colours, different fur, and it helps to keep that illusion of them being different. Controlling the flow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of painting on the hooves of a pig. The initial colour I used for the hooves was orcs bone, and secondly I'm going to use this shade, Agrax Earth shade. Shades are a great way of applying a paint to give a nice texture. As you can see on this one with the yellow, a quick shade, and it does all the work for you. The only problem is with using shades is gravity, and gravity naturally wants to push things down. So for example, with my hooves, if I apply the shade, it's naturally going to do what's happened with the teeth, where the bottom is the darkest. But what I want on my hooves is to make it so the area here is where it gets darker, not the bottom. One of the reasons for this is I'm going to have a very dark base, so I want to have a little bit of contrast between the colour of the hooves and the colour what's going to end up on my base. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply the wash first, because I want a bit of darkness in this area. Over time as it dries, what can happen is the wash can end up falling down, and I want to avoid that. A couple of pieces of sellotape either side of the base, turn the miniature upside down, let it sit in an old ice cream tub like that, and then gravity will naturally push it down, but when we reverse the miniature, what it's actually done is in effect push it up. For the inside of the mouth, I'm using a 50-50 mix for the pigs. Rack flesh, and I'm using an old red paint. Gives you an idea what the colour looks like. It's a nice pink. As you can see, it looks quite bright at the moment, but once you start painting the teeth in, that will change the colour of the area, dull it down a bit. Once the pink is dry, touch up the edges with a little bit of rack flesh just to bring out some extra detail. If you like the video, remember to like, share, and click on the button on the lower right hand side to subscribe.